Welcome, future masters. So I just finished playing this game. Pretty wild, but a lot of interesting things happened. So let's look at this 3 minutes blitz game. So I played Dutch defense. He goes standard. Queen c2, solid move. The order can transpose to it, doesn't really make a difference. There's nothing wrong with that move. Attacking my f-pawn, got to protect it. It's one of those things you throw it. This move order can be thrown out because people just play like a robot and pre-move stuff and they lose a pawn. Me, I'm just, out. Oh, you want to be tough, eh? Well, I can't stop it, so just go ahead and play it. Don't matter to me. I'm developing. So he's, playing kind of semi-aggressive, trying to catch some guy off guard. Work on me. It does work. So you can't argue that what he's doing is wrong or ridiculous. He's playing a catch you off guard type of setup. Bishop to e3, not very good. Not a bad move, but just not very good. So what would you do? You might want to pause the video, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. We're back. Well, look at this. Look, what does this allow me to do? Now, it doesn't allow me to do anything super spectacular. That'd be different. But did you see this move? Everyone sees this move. But when you play it, why would you play this as black? So hopefully you answered that, well, now he has troubles potentially. He would drop a pawn potentially, depending. And actually, I thought he would drop a pawn, and I don't think he does. But he doesn't want to defend. He just wanted to play king d1, I guess, after that. But he could have just played bishop d2. Would have been. It's imprecise on White's part, to say the least. But it's not terrible. It's not losing. So me, keep pounding. Develop, develop, develop. I've said it before. The #1 priority in chess is king safety. You don't hear it enough, so I'm going to try. At least that's what I say. I say you don't hear it enough, so I need to say it as often as possible. So, all development is good. Knight c6 is coming. No biggie. I mean, it's that or bishop to e7. I just think there's possibilities of bishop to f4. That's my thinking. And then also knight c6, knight e7, knight f5, maybe. Queen to e4. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm not exactly sure why. Oh, he did that so he could play king to c2. I can't stop it because the way it's configured. So, is this inferior? It is. Is it inferior in a way where black can take advantage of it? The answer seems to be no. So, then by definition, it's not inferior. It's only inferior if the guy can really take advantage of what the position has that normally it doesn't have. Like, you really can't take advantage of his king being on d1 or c2, etc. And I'm not a wacko trying to do it, so I'm, just be solid, get your pieces out, do your business. Well, dude, I'm going to take you now. If he takes with the queen, queen takes f2, obviously. F takes e3, queen to f2 anyway. Now there's threats of bishop captures on g2. He moves his king, to C1. I could check him there too. I don't think he will, but yeah, it's possible. Knight C6 is coming. Like, okay, doesn't really. I mean, it does stop me from playing bishop takes G2 for sure. Pieces out and take care of business. Don't jack around. He's going through some really odd gyrations, I guess is the good word, to undo the kind of incorrect bishop to E3. It wasn't terrible, but he's not comfortable. Clearly, you look at the position. He's doing weird things to try and trade queens. I'm not trading queens with you. Nice, not yet. No need to trade queens. My queen is a thorn in his side. His queen is doing nothing. It's a defensive piece. That's all good. I don't care. G3. You're a superstar. So, once again, now he could play like knight to H5, but he's asking for it if he does it. He did that. I saw he was also asking for it, potentially. So, it's a decision-making point. Do we play G5 or do something else? Because we can knock this knight away. So you might want to pause the video for a minute or two. Just take a look, see what happens, and we'll be back in 3, 2, 1. We're back. Did you see this move? Pawn takes knight. Really loses that rook on G1 to the check, so he can't take it. All right. So he goes dun 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 dun. Bishop, queen to D3. I was like, okay. Now what? Look at this move. I'm attacking his rook. Guess what happens if he moves his rook? Well, you'll see. I'm pretty sure you can figure this out. So literally take however much time, minute or two, to figure out what happens if white moves his rook to H1 or G2. And we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. We're back. So he does go to G2. Did you come up with this move? It's fairly obvious. I mean, I hope that you say you did. The classic double attack. This is all because he didn't, retreat his bishop from E3 to D2. He's gone through all these gyrations. And this is very difficult and annoying to try and calculate this stuff all the time from early on in the game. So he's in bad trouble. He should play, well, think about it yourself and then see if you can figure out what you think he should play. And I'll let you know what he played here in 3, 2, 1. This is what he played. Clearly, you guys can see what I should do. I will tell you in 3, 2, 1, just in case you didn't already know. There's always possibilities that new players find this and they may not be as strong as some of you other guys. So we have to work to explain to them what's happening. So this is what happened to them. Or, happened to him for those guys. If you did not see what black should play, this is what he should play. Well, this is what I did play, which both are the same. So that is the game. He resigned. But he played a crazy version. Let's look at this briefly again. Okay, the craziness. Bishop E3, not the greatest move. He should really play bishop D2, bishop takes, queen takes. All right? And then I castle. Nothing spectacular. It's just that I have a lead in development. It's very small, but I have a lead in development. That's all. I'm going to play knight c6, attacking this guy. So that's what he should have done, but he decided to be more adventurous, which wasn't necessarily the culprit, but he got loose because, in my mind, he was not really taking care of his king's safety, and by default, the safety of the rest of his pieces. He was going into some crazy actions. A3, like what does A3 do? A smart guy would not play A3. He'd probably play knight to E2 and knight to C3. You know, bishop to D3 would be a good move. Then I'd have to do something like G6 or either H6. But he did not make really any really real threat to me after I checked him. Got him completely on the defensive, which is lucky for me. You know, I'm happy with that. He made some, minor, very minor threats, but nothing of substantial means. Bishop D3 would have been better. But he's trying to go King C2. He doesn't have to do. Whatever. He could have played King to D2. I can't do anything about King D2. Rook D1, King C1. What's the big freaking whoop? It's not that bad. So it's one of those things where he overestimated and then also underestimated on different parts. And, he's out of his, he definitely is, bishop check on B4 threw him out of his comfort zone for sure. So that was fine for me. And you see what happens when a good, strong player is out of his comfort zone. Even a good, strong player can make some questionable moves, let's say. So, I don't want to take his dark square bishop, but I have to take it because it gives me ingress to his position, as they say. He came up with a clever idea to avoid it, but this is the problem he did. He started getting fancy. All right, my dad was like, don't get fancy. He got fancy. What did he do? Did he follow his general plan of King C2, Rook D1, and then King to B1 or whatever? The answer is no. He stopped his previous plan and created a new genius plan. He could play Rook G1. That's perfectly fine. I can't take on G2. So Rook G1 is fine. Knight to F4 is starting to ask for it, all right? I could play Queen takes B2, Rook B1, Queen back to F2. I could just swipe this pawn. But that is also, in my mind, not the smartest move. I don't want to just take a pawn, but I could have taken the pawn. Development. Get your dudes out there to do business. Knight C6 is way more than this stupid B pawn. Whatever. My queen's going to get mangled. If I play here and he goes here, I got to go back to F2. I'm wasting 2 moves to take a stinking pawn when I should be getting my guys out there. I could get away with it probably. But I'm not going to calculate that. It's just ridiculous. But he's trying to trade queens. Well, I'm not trading queens. Now, if I had taken this pawn, I would trade the heck out of queens. But I'm not trading queens with this guy because he's in a bad position. Bad meaning inferior to what he should normally have. He kind of jacked around, and now he's paying the price indirectly. I haven't done anything weird. G3. Why do you feel the compulsion? He does. We all do. You'd like to attack queens. It's fun. I'm not going to lie. G3 is not the move to play. It's another second best move. Geez, you're going to open this diagonal for free. And he did. I swear it was awesome, right? You're underdeveloped. You don't play G3 when your development is bad because you're asking for it. And he was asking for it and he got it. Get your king to safety, son. King to C2. His original plan was good. Or king to D2 if he's afraid of a check. I mean, I don't have any checks yet. So he could go king C2. I make a move like 97 to check him with the bishop. He just goes rook to D1. If I check him, he goes king C1. Who cares? Or knight goes back to D3, whatever. He's fine. But this is called changing horse in midstream. When you're on a horse, for those other people who've never been on a horse, when you're on a horse and you're crossing a stream, you don't get off the horse to go get on another horse because you're going to get wet. Well, that's what the phrase means. Changing horse in midstream is a stupid idea because you're not going to gain anything. So he changes his plan. I'm going to attack your queen. Oh, I might win it. You might be an idiot. Yeah, I'm clearly an idiot. So, man, opened up the diagonal for my bishop. If chess pieces had faces, this bishop's over here licking his lips going, he's like a wolf looking at a free meal. So now he has to waste yet another move. And the computer does not like that at all, does it? The computer sees knight takes d4 faster than I do, and I saw it pretty fast. My time was, I saw it and played it in 5 seconds. That was pretty good. So the computer was on. I haven't even been looking at this. I don't even know what the computer was saying, other stuff. I'm sure it's not really contradicting what I'm saying. I'm not from the computer era. Well, not the browser-based Stockfish, etc. computer. I'm from the 80s and the 90s when I learned chess in like about 69 or 68, one of the two. But I'm from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, really. If you want to get down to it, those full decades. So we learned the old-fashioned way. The classic education of chess structure. Now, we move rook to G1, which seemed good. Let's go back and see. He's completely dust. He went... No, he should play... Oh, he's got to move his queen, right? Moved his queen. Rook to G1 was terrible. Let's go. Wait a second. Let's go. Instead of rook to G1, can't he play bishop G2? He sure can. Computer says it's only minus 1.15. That makes perfect sense. Minus a pawn, basically. No big whoop. So he can do that. That looks like what he should do. But he played rook G1. I mean, I don't have a computer, but I go, oh man, I see this. You see my problem solving. This looks like a problem to me. I'm like, black to move and win. Because this is just, this is kind of my spidey senses are like, that move seems dumb. Is it really necessary? And the answer is no, it isn't. It just, triggered my head that there's something was wrong with that. And he's already dead at this point. It's just a matter of how fast is he dead. So this is all kind of forced. Queen D2 is what he should play. Or queen to C2 would be fine to guard the pawn if he's afraid of me taking it. No, he just queen D2, the bishop guards it. It's fine. Queen C3 is okay. He can do that too. That's fine. You can't argue with that. I mean, he's already losing. Trying to limit the damage, which he tried to do, and well, it got to be the worst damage. So maybe this, like I said, this is very interesting. He misstepped in the opening and then compounded it later on. Hopefully I explained that well enough to you. Pretty interesting game. Had had some challenging things I had to figure out what to do, move my queen, etc., etc. I thought it was a good game for me. Hopefully, very instructive. That's the whole point. I thought it was really instructive. Things you don't do. Take care of your business. He didn't take care of his business. He changed his plans. Not good. Chasing my queen. Not a smart move at all. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. Like the video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. You'll get more like this. So, this is like 20 minutes and 25 seconds.